7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bob.
A little magic in the rain last night. A little magic in the rain elsewhere. Overtime, domination, disappointment, offense, explosions. It's just another Monday in paradise, boys and girls. Just with a little chill and a little autumnal feel to it. What's good and Merry Monday? Welcome to it. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal, with a ton to do, us and you. And happy November. Jeff Symbieta, Zay is in for BB Juck today. What's good? How you living?
I'm doing great. How about you,
Thanks
Jeff?
for getting up early this morning, man.
Of course.
Early. What time do you normally get up? Because I know you're not a morning guy.
So I usually get up about 8 a.m. and then I'll go to the gym and then I come home and by the time I shower and get dressed, it's time for me to come in for BV.
Yeah, how'd this feel?
This is, it flashes me back a little bit to the school days, the summer camp days, but it's
That's right.
a lot better than football.
We're school. We're
Yeah.
That's what this is. JJ's got Lady Lobo basketball today. It is a 10:30 opener for Lobo women basketball against Northern Arizona. You'll hear that. It's 11 o'clock, 10:30 pregame here at the Pit. Here on the Sports Animal. It is opening day for college basketball around the country. A holiday certainly around here as Lobo men's basketball will open up at home against Nichols tonight. You'll hear that over on News Radio KKOB. Robert Portnoy and Hunter Green will have the call. Then they go to Vegas on Friday to play UCLA. So your first look for real, I know you got a look last Monday in the exhibition against UTEP at Lobo men's basketball, but you get your first look for real tonight. It's a big day. Last night, big night out at Isotopes Park. Macaulay Akale scored to bring New Mexico United back from a 1-0 deficit. Ooh. And the club is on to next week's USL's Championship Western Conference semifinals. A 2-1 come-from-behind victory over Phoenix Rising. The first goal that they got by Will Seymour was a crazy one. It hit the crossbar, it hit both posts, bounced out, but the ref on the side, the side judge, flag guy, said it crossed the line. And there's no VAR, no video replay in USL. The guy on CBS Sports was trying to convince you. See, there's a convincing angle. They had it from like the other side of the field. He's like, look at the bottom. I'm like, what are you talking about? If you're Phoenix, you're pissed.
Well, there's a kind of that little fine line where they do try to really see what part of the ball.
Yeah, but they don't have it. It was bang, 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 and they don't have replay on it. Like we all watched the replay if you were watching on TV, but they don't utilize replay in that league.
So you're like, how'd you guys know?
You didn't. And it bounced off the frame 3 times. Over 11,000 fans in the rain yesterday for the first ever New Mexico United home playoff game. They get the win. Akale with the winner, and they go on. There'll be Las Vegas Lights next week in New Mexico in the Western Conference semifinals. It will be at 7:30 on Saturday night next week. The Lobos are gone. They play Friday. Football and basketball's gone, so they got the whole area to themselves.
It's going to be electric.
Yeah, it'll be fun next Saturday night. If you were there, I'd love to hear you. I'd love to hear what it was like out there. 505-246-0610. Area code 505-246-0610. Your emails are coming in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. You can watch us. You can even see Zay, man. Look at you all did up on the ProView Network screen over there. Adrian's producing for us. Over on ProView Networks, we're on a Facebook page. What's our face? The OD and the AM. I had a little run. So I was gone Thursday, Friday. When I played in the Orange Bowl golf tournament in Miami on whatever day it was, Friday. And then saw in person one of the best teams in the country in Cam Ward, man. I went to Miami and Duke on Saturday. Miami's legit. Miami's got athletes, and there was Michael Irvin right there on the sidelines. The Ring of Honor in Miami is impressive, by the way.
Just the names.
I mean, every name you look at, and they love them some Canes now. They love them some Canes in Miami, and they're legit. So that was kind of cool. They're still undefeated, and with Clemson getting beat this weekend, they are certainly the team that's good. That's got a great look at it out of the ACC. Lobo football loses 49-45.
Oh, that one hurt.
Yeah, it did. We're going to talk to Bronco Mendenhall coming up at 9 o'clock, a Lobo football coach. 35-35 at halftime. 1,180 yards of total offense. Wyoming had 604. Lobos had 576. Lobos had two guys rush for over 200 yards. Devin Dampier, the quarterback, ran for 207 yards and 3 touchdowns. Eli Sanders ran for 205 yards and 2 touchdowns. But when it mattered, they couldn't hold on to the ball. They had a 10-point fourth quarter lead, and looking forward to talking to Bronco about what he's seen on tape, because that was the disappointing one. You win that one, you go to 4-5. You got a real chance on Saturday against a San Diego State team that's like you in a lot of respects, trying to figure it out. They got beat handily by Boise State, as does most teams in this league. But you would have had a chance at Boise State and San Diego State, and who knows? And now you got to win the last 3 to get bowl eligible. And Washington State sitting in there and with a home game, that's going to be a tough one. This is the one that as the program was growing, you figured, all right, let's play a 1-7 Wyoming team. Let's go get them. Now they got Harrison Whaley back. They're really good running back. Did you catch that on Saturday?
Yeah, I did see a good portion of that game just while I was working at my other job. And one thing I would say that's really irritating about it, if you're a Lobo fan, is you want to see that complementary football, right? You want to see this offense, and you want to combine that with the defense we saw last week against Colorado State. And it's been really hard for them to get both sides of the ball to play that way in the same game. And if they can just figure out how to do that, they're a very hard team to beat. We saw at the beginning of the year, they competed with some teams that, maybe as good as Washington State. So
well, I think you feel that they can score. The Colorado State game was such an anomaly on every level, right? The fact that they only scored 6 points. I mean, they scored 45 last week. The 3 weeks prior to the Colorado State game, they were north of 50. You figure they can score, and in that game, they moved the ball really well between the 10s.
Yeah,
they just turned the ball over in the red zone. You look at them and you say, okay, I think they can score with anybody. The defense was probably an anomaly that game too, because they're obviously the defense isn't very good. It just isn't. And statistically, it's one of the worst in college football. But I mean, just look. This was a Wyoming team that was struggling. You get a quarterback in Caden Anderson making his first start. They get Harrison Whaley back, and Wyoming looked like a different team too. Wyoming was having struggles scoring all season long. They when you look at what they did in losses, they put up 25, 14, 24. They beat Air Force by scoring 31, 17 against North Texas, 14. They lost to Idaho 17-13. I mean, they haven't been scoring. Their biggest offensive output was 31 in that win against Air Force. And then they threw 49 at you the other night, or the other day, and just it was one of those crazy games. And Caden Anderson, first career start, as I told you, a quarterback, and he was really good. He was really good. And then when Trace Westland recovered the fumble at the 48-yard line off his own strip sack of Devin Dampier with 2:48 to go, that was it. That and the interception, the pick six. It was, I mean, look, Dampier was terrific, but turned the ball over down the stretch.
Yeah, even on that last drive, I had, faith that we would get down the field and score, because I just felt it was meant to be, that we were going to win that game. And, he did get hit, and I guess you could say the pocket presence. I believe he has a good pocket presence.
He does.
And, he's very elusive, and, they just got to him just in time. And who knows what, that pass would have looked like if he was able to get it out.
I'm not going to let one play define a guy or swing my mind. Devin Dampier is terrific.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He made mistakes in the fourth quarter of that game. And we're going to hear from Bronco about it. He'll talk about it. And you just got to take care of the ball. And you just, in key situations, Wyoming was better.
Yeah,
that's about. I don't know how else to bottom line it. In key situations, when it came down to it, they were better. I got a bunch of emails already in on Lobo football. Man, a lot of them. Holy smokes! I see what happens. I go away for a day, or what was that? 2 days. I got to clean out my inbox too. All right, emails are coming in. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. When we come back, we're going to get into the NFL. How about them Cowboys? You want to start with what boy Dax? Oh, did he really say that? We bleeping suck. Is that's what he said? Well, he was standing on the sideline next to Trey Lance hurt while Cooper Rush was in, whilst they were losing again. He might be right. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture,
we would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Yes.
When I called from the airport?
Yes.
With a public service announcement?
Uh-huh.
After the Dodgers won the World Series, by the way?
Yes.
To let people know there was a way to get into the air because I had a flight?
Oh, yeah.
I said, hey, I the guy flew me to Louisiana Gibson and come in, and I made my flight. I have time for coffee. Dude's like, Jeffrey not there. This was like Thursday. That's the date. Taking the day off to attend the Trump rally.
Yeah, you did happen to go to the airport at an interesting time.
Yeah, I did. Well, I made my flight well in advance of Trump announcing that he was messing up airport traffic. Same dude said Bronco Mendenhall teams choke and cannot be trusted with leads late in games. Okay.
Alrighty.
All right. How about your Cowboys? So, I don't even know that I'm going to have them in my biggest winners and losers because I don't even know that I think it mattered that much. Although they are now 3-5 and have lost 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott got hurt, 18 for 24, $133 and a touchdown. Well, that crazy Rico Dowdle touchdown pass, by the way. I needed that. Boy, did I need that.
You got Rico?
I got him on the same team where, how about this, dude? Not that anybody cares about your or mine or anybody else's fantasy team, but I had Chris Olave and Puka Nacua, and I went into the weekend feeling, all right, nice. Olave got carded out, and Puka got thrown out, and I got like 1 point out of the two of them combined. But I need 1 point out of my kicker to still win that game.
Okay. And your kicker plays tonight?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So Dak was caught on camera on the side. He's out of the game with the injury. And Cooper rushes in. And he's standing there with Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
And he says...
what's he say, Jeff?
Well, he says we bleeping suck, right?
Yeah.
Does he? I mean, you read lips probably as well as I do. What did that look like to you?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
How do you get over that? Now, look, dude just got paid. How do that's my leader. With all due respect, and look, that's why dudes cover their mouth all the time with their hands when they talk. Because you never know when the camera's on you. And I'm not telling you I think he's wrong. Because, in fact, he's right. And Jerry promised that there's some big changes coming. The trade deadline's tomorrow. I don't know what Jerry thinks he's going to do. But how do I go in there and, hey, my quarterback, the guy who's going to lead us to the playoffs, he's given up. When I got my quarterback standing on the sideline saying, we bleeping suck, I'm supposed to go to war for that dude?
So here's the catch, right? So Dak is a guy, he's always positive, right? And he's always saying the political thing, it seems, almost like a politician. He says the correct thing at all times, or he tries. And in this situation, in a lot of football teams, it's really important that whoever the leader is says this. So oftentimes, like after you lose some bad games, the coach will come in the locker room and look everybody in the eye and say, look, we suck right now. But he says it with the motivation that there's ways to fix it. But then on the flip side, Dak Prescott is in the rare position where, the Cowboy fans are split down the middle a lot of ways. And I'm one of the fans who believe that, number one, he needs to play better. But I also think he's been used as a scapegoat. I think Jerry has given him a really big disadvantage going into the season. I think everybody who knows football could see that this team needed a running back. They know how Dak Prescott plays. They know he benefits from having a good running back. And I think that's obvious. And Jerry sends us into the season with, he denies Derrick Henry, doesn't even call him, doesn't even call Saquon. We see what Saquon's doing. Mm-hmm. And then, you re-sign Zeke and you put Rico Dowdle out there with only CeeDee Lamb as a receiver currently. And he's expecting Dak to go out here and just win these games. So I think Dak is, I think he knows he was on camera, and I think that was a message to Jerry. And
you think he knew he was on camera at that point?
I think Dak had no fear saying that because I think everybody now, including the players, including Dak, has a secret frustration with the ownership for the team and the roster we've put out there. So I think that's Dak evaluation of, finally giving in to say, look, we're not good enough. We don't have enough players, and we just suck right now.
So if this team had Derrick Henry right now, they're 3-5, what would their record be?
They'd be at least 5-3.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
What games would they have won?
They would have won last night. Just.
You think they'd have won yesterday for sure?
They would have won yesterday for sure. And then let me.
They lost to the Saints 44-19. They lost 28-25 to the Ravens in a game one that close. And they lost to the Lions 47-9. They lost to the Niners 30-24 in that game one that close.
I think they beat the Falcons and possibly that Niners game.
All right.
And I know they weren't scoring many points, but I just think that the offense would have been opened up so much more with the Derrick
So I agree with you in some respects, but disagree. I don't know that just a running back makes them that much better. It makes them better. A good running back makes them better. And this is kind of the year of the running back. If you look around and look at what running backs, what a difference they're making. Look what James Cook and that 22 kid is doing in Miami, right? You look at I'm sorry, in Buffalo. Davis, isn't his name David? What the heck's the other guy's name? Doggone, that's pissing me off now. He scored again yesterday. His name it's Ray Davis. Yeah, it is Davis.
Okay, nice.
But you look at what Jacobs is doing in his new spot. You look even Tony Pollard making a difference in Tennessee. They won yesterday. They're not very good. But you look at what Jordan Mason can do to fill in. Everybody's got a running game. Kyron Williams. So I think it's the year of the running back. I think you're right. In regards, would they be better? I don't think that's the only thing they needed. I think they're small up front on both sides of the line. I think they get pushed around on the defensive line. They're not nearly as good up front as Jerry thought they were on defense, and not nearly as good on offense as he thought they were. He had one receiver trying to make something out of Jalen Tolbert. So is he a scapegoat? Dude got paid $55-60 million a year, so there's no scapegoat there. I don't think he's that damn good. I think he's a good NFL quarterback, but I don't think he's an elite guy. And everybody expects him to be elite because he's playing for the Dallas Cowboys, and he got elite money, right? He got paid like an elite quarterback. So hey, dude, go out and make everybody else better. Tom Brady did it, and Tom Brady's the only one who did it with nothing around him. Now, he doesn't have nothing around him. He's got CeeDee Lamb, who is spectacular around him. And what did they do with CeeDee Lamb yesterday? Well, they targeted him a boatload of times, but he didn't. His receiving yesterday he got 12 targets. He was 8 for 47. That's just not enough.
Yeah,
right.
Not.
So I don't know that I think he's a scapegoat. But how do I now see? I think there's a difference when a guy goes in a locker room and in a closed door meeting looks his teammates in the eye and say, "We suck and we got to get better," or whatever. To me, that's different than getting caught on the sideline telling the other third string quarterback, "Man, we suck. We bleeping suck." And I disagree. I don't think he knew he was on camera. I think that was just a moment where it's like, damn, dude, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and it's Dallas really has their hands tied. And a big reason, I'm a Cowboys fan, and I recognize the injuries, but we didn't look much better before Micah went down, before DeMarcus Lawrence went down, and yeah, that plays a factor. And yes, the teams can sit back all day and pass on our secondary because our secondary is not playing well, but also the defensive line used to cover up the secondary. So it's not like you can just, say, oh, we have injuries, that's why we suck. I just think that everybody in Dallas we all have to point fingers at Jerry. There's just too many off seasons that go by where he does this. And the only reason I think he did get paid a lot of money, Dak did, and he does need to play up to it. And that's what, I hold him to, because I know that he wanted to be, paid the highest. But if Dallas would have paid him earlier, number one, they would have paid him before the Jordan Love contract. They would have paid him early enough to not have to pay him the amount they paid him, but also that would have opened up the cap space to go get one of these running backs. Mm-hmm. So now in Cowboy Nation,
you move money around.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we're all just staring at Dak, and it seems like it's his fault we don't have players because he signed that contract, when in reality, Jerry could have signed him early.
Of course.
And we could have had this all handled.
Of course. Hamstring for Dak, shoulder for CeeDee Lamb. So they're both going to get MRIs today. CeeDee Lamb has a right AC joint issue in his shoulder. He'll undergo an MRI today. Hopefully, according to Jerry Jones, he'll be able to play through it on Sunday. They get the Eagles next week, right? Have fun with that.
Yeah, I want Ashton Genty, Jeff. I'm one of those guys. I'm looking at the draft, and
he's terrific, dude.
I just want Ashton.
Did you watch him on Friday night? San Diego State did everything they could to bottle him up. So Boise State just passed around him, and then in the second half he went bonkers.
Yes.
Dude's legit. Who's the Heisman winner? Who do you like?
Ashton. Ashton. Travis second, just because I respect both sides of the ball.
Travis is legit. Boy, they sure love them some Cam Ward down in Miami. They're convinced he should win. I was listening to their radio. Well, and if I think he threw 5 touchdown passes the other day.
Really?
Oh yeah, and then there was a pick 6.
I think Dylan Gabriel could creep up.
Those
he could
are
be
4.
a dark horse.
No, those and there's Milroe's probably in there too, Alabama's quarterback.
Really? You think so? Would you put Gabriel in there as well?
I would put Gabriel. Personally, the 4 that I'm inviting are Genty, Cam Ward, Hunter, and Dylan Gabriel.
I like it.
Milroe to me is the one on the out. He's really good. He's just the one on the outside looking in. But I don't have a Heisman vote. JJ does. I have a Naismith vote, but I don't have a Heisman vote.
JJ's got a Heisman vote. That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure he still does. Yeah. Cowboy fan, is it over? I mean, where are you coming back from? See, when you went into this one, when you went into this little stretch after the Steelers game, you said, well, dude, here come the Lions, the Niners, the Falcons, the Eagles, the Texans, the Commanders. You knew it was going to be a stretch, but you figure you get one somewhere because of the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? Because teams get one somewhere. Then where are they getting one?
You know, I can't.
Texans?
That's the only chance I can see. And again, there's half of Cowboy fans. We don't like dead end signs. And I like to use that line, or if I see a dead end sign, I don't like going down that road. So unless I see a possibility or some trade that could go down to where Dallas could have a chance to go for the big game, I don't want to spend any time, crawling to a 500 record just for pride. I'd rather have a good draft pick. Because, I mean, if you look at the roster top to bottom, we're not a 3-5 roster, but we're not as good as we thought we were.
Yeah, I don't know that you're that good. And Zay's in for JJ today. Text line, I think, is directed at you. It says, your Dallas belief is delusional. Derrick Henry would have made zero difference in any game that they have played. Had Derrick Henry gone to the Cowboys, he'd be having a bad year, too, because he's on the Cowboys.
Sounds like that guy's a Cowboys fan. Or an Eagles fan.
This one says, how to sum up the Cowboys for Cowboy fans. Not sure anyone could do it better than Dak on the sideline yesterday. Y'all bleeping suck.
I mean, we knew it. I mean,
yeehaw, Cowboys fans. I'm betting your coach doesn't make it to Black Monday, and neither should your GM or owner. Keep up the bad work, Jer. This one's from Travis. So we're getting some Cowboy comment for you.
I like it. I like it. And, I'm all here for it. I feel like I've been bamboozled. I've been tricked as well.
You have. They're not good, dude. And I said that going into the season, and I told JJ they won't make the playoffs. And I remember the conversation in June and July, and I said, better chance they make the NFC Championship game or don't make the playoffs. And it was an easy answer. It was. And at that point, you figured, well, they're going to re-sign all of them. They're going to sign Micah. They're going to sign Dak. They're going to sign CeeDee Lamb. And they signed 2 of them to long-term deals, but they neglected the rest of the roster. And so it was an easy answer at that point to sit around and say, well, yeah, but no, bamboozle is a great word. Bamboozled is really good if if you're a Cowboy fan and you that's how you feel.
Yeah, and like before the season, when I heard that Derrick Henry didn't get the phone call, it's more than Derrick Henry.
And he wanted to be there.
Yeah, and when we saw that happen, the morale just felt let down. It just
the morale of whom?
The Cowboy Nation. It's like the only people who were up for the season were the players because they had to be. But everybody else, I'm telling you, for the first season, I can say across the board, everyone was just thinking to themselves,
this ain't going to work.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, is this a real thing?
What do you want me to do here? You want me to break or you want me to take this call?
Edward is he's wanting to talk some NFL, but he does say he's down to wait for the break.
I'm going to hold it because that's not a quick phone call. I mean, I might be dumb, but I'm not new. Right? So, all right, we'll get to the phones. We go back. Cowboy fan, you can get in. NFL, let's go. We had big ones yesterday. How about the Rams win yesterday? That was a big win in the NFC West. Eagles avoided catastrophe. Washington gets a big win. Chargers are sneaky, quietly winning. Buffalo got a big one, hurt Miami. And then that Lions win was just a big deal. So 505-246-0610. If you were at United last night, love to hear from you. We'll talk global football coming up at 9 o'clock. Bronco Mendenhall is scheduled to be with us and hear what he has to say going into San Diego State on Friday. Hey, are you searching for your ideal venue for an event? Are you in charge of your holiday party for your company? Are you having a reception, a gala, just a meeting? Anything from 10 to 20,000 people. 10 people to 20,000. The Albuquerque Convention Center is your spot. They've got over 600,000 square feet of flexible beautiful indoor and outdoor meeting space. Local art throughout the building. Kiva Auditorium's right there. Concessions and bars. Civic Plaza's right there. And a parking garage to take care of everybody who's coming. Everybody who is there is going to love your event. It's in the heart of downtown Albuquerque, and they will promise you. Look, I do events there every year. The Isleta New Mexico Bowl hosts our players there. They take care of our players. That's why we keep going back, because they do an excellent job. They go above and beyond. The menu, they will craft it for whatever you want, and their staff goes above and beyond. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center for your meetings, your holiday parties. Be at the center of it all. It's all online at albuquerquecc.com, albuquerquecc.com, or call them at 505-768-4575, 505-768-4575. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. Be at the center of it all.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Like Cowboy fan. You said. Zay's in for JJ today. JJ will have Lobo women's basketball season opener today. 10:30 pregame, 11 o'clock tip-off at the Pit. Lobos in northern Arizona. So Zay is in today, 505-246-0610. You are welcome to get in. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir.
Top of the morning to you on this beautiful November morning. I think we may get more precipitation, Jeff, up in the foothills, and maybe see some snow.
Quite autumnal.
So that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's nice.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I like Zay's takes. I think that he brings a lot of good content. I think, some good points that I'm in agreement with, and there's some things that I might be diametrically opposed with Zay, and that's okay. That's how we grow and learn, Zay. But first, I'm going to be harsh on my own team. I've said all year, even during the off season, that Gerard Mayo was the worst coach signee that the Patriots could have made. That team is dysfunctional, disorganized, and I know they've squeaked their way through 2 wins this year. My hope as a Patriots fan, and they tell you not to root against your team, bottom out, and rebuild the whole thing. But I will say Antonio Pierce might be even a worse hire. How about the Raiders, man? Just giving that guy a contract. And I really like Antonio Pierce. He was amazing as a Giant, New York Giant. But that was a bad hire. And when Brady has influence over the organization, he's going to hire my guy that coached the Tennessee Titans. And they're going to draft Primetime Son, and we'll see how that lays. But hey, but the Cowboys.
You think Shador's the number one overall pick? You think Shador?
Go ahead, I'm sorry, Jeff.
You think Shador, if they get the number one overall pick, you think it's Shador?
Of course.
I think they're going to take
Shador Sanders. You think it's a no-brainer on Shador? Why? You guys both think it's a no-brainer?
No-brainer. I feel like I have never watched him play and seen him make an inaccurate throw when he had time.
Okay.
Yep. And the Raiders should bottom out and draft. I'm not saying he's going to solve all problems, but I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to hire, my guy from the Titans, who the Patriots should have hired, by the way. So let's talk about the Cowboys real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, Zay, I'm a body of work guy, right?
Okay.
And I know the Cowboys have won 12 games 3 straight years, but if you really break it down, there's a 17th game now. They've dominated kind of a bad division, Eagles notwithstanding. And you know what was probably conventionally a 10 or 10-win team, 11 win. You get 12, and that's amazing. That's not a bad thing. In their last 8 games, in their last 13 games, I think they're 5-8, right? And they've been blown out by the Bills, the Packers, the Saints. They got blasted by the Lions,
the Ravens,
the 49ers,
the Ravens,
and the Ravens.
They got close.
They've gotten taken apart, completely taken apart. And you know what? Even in some of the games this year, they beat the Browns and they beat a hapless Giants team, and they beat a Steelers team who benched their quarterback the next day because he moved the ball up and down on that defense at will and couldn't score. So I'm not here to call your baby ugly, right? But they have
it's ugly. It's ugly, Edward.
That's just
say people with ugly babies.
I got to share it with you. You bring up some good points. They have a major roster problem. They are bad, and I know it's complementary football on defense. I know Parsons is out. I know that Lawrence is out. I think they have a bad contract with Diggs.
I agree.
I think that the CeeDee Lamb contract that's market value, and he gets targeted 25 times a game, so his numbers are, he's an amazing talent. And Dak, that's the market value. The faster they pull the plug and realize what they're not and start rebuilding this organization, it's better for them. And I'm telling you, they are nuts if they give Marco Parsons a big contract, because he's going to be in year 5 or 6 next year, and there's better defensive players than that guy on the field right now on other teams. So my takes. Have a great day.
Later.
Thank you. I like the takes.
Do you?
I do. I do like the takes, and I agree with a lot of what he said.
They're not that good, dude. And his point is right on the rest of the roster. It's not. You said Dak's a scapegoat. And look, every quarterback's a scapegoat. Every quarterback gets too much credit and too much blame.
I just think for how close. Now, we can debate how close they actually were last year. That Green Bay game in the playoffs just came so out of nowhere. I mean, there were so many reasons why they shouldn't have lost that game.
Like a franchise destroyer.
I mean, the number 2 seed has never lost to the number 7 in the first round of the playoffs. The Cowboys hadn't lost at home all year. There's just so many things that had never happened that happened in that game, and I think it definitely broke the will of the Cowboys. But the biggest thing is that coach. Jeff, what happens if you swap out McCarthy for Bill Belichick? I mean,
with this roster?
Even with this roster.
So what do you think they are then?
The
Who's
level
playing defense, dude? Bill Belichick's still not on that defensive line.
This is true, but they're so undisciplined, and even when they do play all right, there's penalties after penalties after penalties after penalties.
There are.
After more penalties, and Bill Belichick, he's going to eliminate that first off. And if he's the coach, I guarantee the players aren't thinking about what tours are going on outside the glass.
Okay, yeah. Look. That's the modern day player. I'm gonna I give a damn that a dude's watching me eat lunch. I'm making how many millions of dollars, and so if I got to be the zebra in the cage or whatever, why do I give a damn that some people are watching me eat my lunch?
Exactly, it's a mental weakness thing, and Trevon Diggs getting mad at the reporter, mental weakness.
How about like Embiid the other day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Joel shoved a reporter the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, people are losing their junk, and it's. I agree with you on that. Now, you're going to tell me that if Belichick was the head coach, Trevon Diggs would not, or whoever, he wouldn't have got upset with the reporter, or players would not be complaining about people walking outside that there were tours were going on. He wouldn't.
Yeah, I honestly believe that the Cowboys would be able to stay the Cowboys. And the big discussion is, could Belichick and Jerry work together?
Let me ask you this: when they were winning 12 games, like how many years in a row? 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Was Mike McCarthy a crappy coach?
Yeah.
Why? So he gets no credit. He just gets the blame. I just want to make sure I understand.
What I give McCarthy credit for is for the improvement of Dak Prescott last year. Him being second MVP voting.
All right.
I give McCarthy credit for that. But there were still games I can pinpoint where it was just bad time management. Still bad play calling.
All right, so he gets none of the credit for going 12 wins 3 years in a row. He gets all the blame for being crap.
He gets some credit for being 12 wins, for getting 12 wins, but I give him a lot of the blame for them not being mentally ready.
Who's more to blame for this what's going on now, him or Jerry? Now, I know who's going to take the fall, but who's more to blame? I think it's easy.
I think it's Jerry for keeping him there.
He created well, that's interesting.
And the roster.
But the roster's the roster. Like Bill Belichick didn't win with bad players. Bill Belichick won. Now, did he make players better? 100%. That's what makes a great coach. I'm not telling you McCarthy's a great coach, but I don't believe he's a garbage coach.
I don't think he's a garbage coach. I just think there's matchups, right? And there's a good match and there's a bad match. And I think the coach of this Cowboys team, it needs to be somebody that is number one on discipline, and you don't have to draw up genius plays. You just need to have all these guys playing the same consistent game over and over again. But right now, we don't know what we're going to get out of the Cowboys, and we haven't known. I mean, it's hard to pick them.
No, you're right.
You don't know what we're going to see.
All right, we got to hit this break because we're super late. Hit the phones when we come back. Keep them coming. This is good stuff at 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta. Zay's in for JJ on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney.
In your AM, Lobos get beat over the weekend 49-45. It's basketball today. Lobos and Nichols out of the pit. Ladies will play NAU right here on the Sports Animal to get the season started. Jeff Simbieta, Zay's in for JJ. Who do I got on line one?
You got Anthony.
Anthony, good morning. Thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, Anthony?
Good morning, gentlemen. So, Fambuzo is the word of the day?
Yes.
So, first of all, big Cowboy fan since 1971. And I got to tell you guys, it doesn't matter who coaches it because, I'm sorry, what's the other gentleman's name that's on tonight?
Isaiah.
Isaiah. You're
Yes.
talking about Bill Belichick. We have Bill. We have what was the name? Bill Parcells?
Bill Parcells.
For the Giants there, Parcells, exactly what you described. Could not win, could not get the Cowboys to the AFC Championship game, couldn't get them to the Super Bowl. The issue is not the coaching. The issue is the guy that's picking the groceries, and that's Jerry Jones. So as long as Jerry Jones is in charge of that team, we're never going to win. The last time we won was the year after he won a Super Bowl with Jimmy Johnson's players. So you can't get all your experience from yourself and say that you're a football guy. And I know everybody's excited, oh, soon he'll be gone and his son's going to take over.
Yes.
Every single experience that his son's got is from his dad.
Yeah, they
So he's
sound
going
like
to struggle too. And I don't want to hear Johnny Manziel. Everybody was passing on Johnny Manziel. So don't give me this. He's the guy that said, don't take Johnny, Dad. Don't take Johnny, Dad. Everybody was saying that.
You're a damn
So it's not like
genius
it was great.
for not taking one of the biggest flops in football. Yeah, you're a genius. Okay.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're a genius because you're able to talk your dad out of something that everybody was telling you was a bad idea.
Right.
But let's move on from the Cowboys
Yeah.
to Lobo football. Now,
Yeah.
I'm a huge Bronco fan, right? I hope he succeeds. But we're getting from Boozle, whatever the word is, on the football team, too. Jeff, they have not improved from game one. I know everybody says, oh, they're getting so much better. They're close. They're not close, folks. They look the same as they did against Montana, the same as they did against Arizona. They can move the ball offensively. They can score points, but they turn it over way too much. They have horrible penalties that set them back. The defense still can't stop the run. The defense still can't stop the pass. They still can't tackle. They still get beat on special teams. This team has not improved. The only thing that looks better is that the opponent is getting worse. So we're in games. But this team has not improved. So I wish when you talk to Bronco, ask him about that. They looked exactly the same against Wyoming that they did against Arizona. Move the ball, turn it over, penalty, can't stop the pass, can't stop the run. Oh, man, big play on special teams. We're getting Fambuzo on this team. They're not any better than they were game one, and I wish they were, and I was hoping they were after that big stop against Utah State.
Yeah. Anthony, let me
same team.
Yeah, and I think to me, because I was asking myself on Saturday, is this a scheme thing? Is it do you have to look at the coordinator defensively, or is it a player thing, right? And so I look at it. You can't go out and get new players until next year. I thought, to your point, the plays they made at the end of the Utah State game, and then holding Colorado State to 17 points. I thought, okay, I am seeing progress. And, Bronco says I'm seeing progress. You may not be able to see it, but we're seeing it. But, man, and I'll ask him about, the progress that you saw at the end of the Utah State game and then last week. Did it regress completely, or where is it after giving up 49 points to a Wyoming team who was struggling?
If you go back and watch that Colorado State game, Jeff, look at that Colorado State game. That was Colorado State doing it to themselves. They were making big mistakes on offense. They weren't able to
get
the wide open guy dropping passes. So if Colorado State would have played even 20% better, they'd probably score 35 on the Lobos. So
all right, man.
I wish they were looking better, and I'm right. I don't know if it's players. I don't know if it's scheme. I mean, definitely players, right? There's so many missed tackles. There's so many bad angles. I mean, just that touchdown pass against Wyoming the other day, that 55-yarder, the guy was in position. He just never turned his head around.
Yep.
He's just running with them. The guy's had his head back looking for the ball. Our defensive back is just running like, 1-on-1. As soon as the receiver turns his head, turn your head and start looking for the ball. He doesn't. He waits till the guy catches it, tries to make a swing at the ball, and the guy's gone for a touchdown.
Yeah,
That's
man.
either scheme, coaching, or player. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's giving up a lot of points. No, I appreciate you. Thanks, Anthony. Lobos gave up 604 yards of offense. Wyoming ran the ball for 262 yards. They had a quarterback making his first career start, threw for 342 yards. Now, Lobos put up 576 yards of offense. 2 turnovers, penalties, 7 penalties for 64 yards, certainly some key ones. And the turnovers were the key. Fourth quarter, you're up by 10. That was, if anything, looked like the Montana State game. Montana State, you were up 31-17 in the fourth quarter and lost that game.
Yeah.
This one, you were up by 10 in the fourth quarter, got outscored 14-0 in the fourth quarter, and you lose the game 49-45 because you turned the ball over twice. I mean, that's where that game was lost. I mean, but look, defense is struggling. I don't think it's a secret that you're struggling defensively. And when you look at some of the stats and just NCAA stats, and it's rough, man. It really is rough.
Rudy wants to talk some Lobo football if you want to get him on real quick.
I'm going to have to hold him through the break, too, because I know we're right on the number. Yeah. New Mexico, third to last in points given up this year out of 136 teams. They're giving up 40.8 points per game. Only Utah State and Kent State are giving up more yards. It's rough.
Yeah. A little throwback to the beginning of Anthony's call there. You know, that really closed out my Cowboy take, where I think Dallas ruined their official Super Bowl window, was when they drafted Zeke and didn't let Tony play with him.
Ooh.
I think you let Tony Romo play that 2016 season. That's when they went and won the Super Bowl.
But they didn't.
So
they didn't. Isaiah's in for JJ. JJ's got Lobo women's basketball. Bronco Mendenhall scheduled to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. It's the opening drive. Thank you for remembering you listen to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here, New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding.
Sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
A little breaking news for you as we open up hour number 2 here on the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, Isaiah's in for JJ. Opening day for Lobo basketball. Lobo women go at 11 o'clock. JJ Buck will have the pregame show here on the Sports Animal at 10:30. Lobo men tonight. Over on News Radio KKOB, they play Nichols. You got a little breaking news, eh?
Yeah, the Saints have fired the head coach, Dennis Allen. He's no more. You know, the Raiders were firing off some coaches, too, in the middle of the night.
The Raiders fired offensive coordinator Luke Getsy yesterday and 2 other offensive assistants. They're 2-7. And the Saints yesterday lose to the Panthers and Bryce Young. And then you got Michael. So Chris Olave gets taken out on a stretcher.
Yeah.
Former receiver Michael Thomas goes after Derek Carr, the quarterback, for getting him hurt. And you got that whole mess. So there's an opening. The first guy to fall. Is this the first one? No, it's the second one. It was the Jets, so it was first. Second one to fall is Dennis Allen of the New Orleans Saints. They started out 2-0 and looked like world beaters, scoring 50 points a day. But then you realize you don't get to play the Cowboys every week.
You know, speaking of the Cowboys, I got a text from Ned James during the break.
Yeah.
To stop overreacting on the Dallas Cowboys. The season is only half over, and they still have a chance to make the playoffs. The owner of Dallas is great, and I could argue they have the second best coach in the NFL. Relax, give the Cowboys another month before you panic and throw the towel in on the season.
I'd love to know what he sees on that roster, though, that makes you believe that they're coming back and making it around the second half.
He really likes McCarthy. I've talked with him
about
that's
okay, and I can see where you think McCarthy's a fine coach. But, I'm going to go back to a roster composition.
Yeah.
What makes you think, and I'd ask Ned if he was sitting here, what on that roster tells you, especially up front, that they're going to be able to turn this around?
And you got me. When you said up front, you specifically got me. That's where they lack.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can give me all the Derrick Henrys you want. But, Rudy, thanks for holding you on the Sports Animal. Hi, Rudy.
Hey, good morning. Football is a funny game, and the caller that said that the Lobos haven't improved, I've seen improvement. I've watched every game. But there are certain things that no matter what you do, I don't care if you're Newt Rockne. You know, you're going to inherit a situation like Bronco did where there was nothing in place. There was nothing to take over. You're basically building from scratch, and it's actually worse. It's like taking over that house, and you don't even realize half the things that are rotten in it until you start rebuilding it, and then you're tearing subflooring out and everything else. So I'm fine with what's going on. Apparently, if you were one of those future bettors in Vegas, you already collected your money, didn't you?
Yes, you did.
2.5 was the over. Well, they beat that, and stranger things have happened, like Texas Tech beating Iowa State this past weekend. So, if the Lobos can figure out a way to get by the Aztecs Friday night, and that's kind of a bite in the chops. I'm going to be out in Vegas for the UCLA-New Mexico game, and I guess they're going to be going on at the same time, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, I'll be with you in Vegas calling the Lobo basketball game against UCLA, and Rob's going to be with football in San Diego.
Yeah, there's all kinds of conflicts. I got to work today instead of going to the 11 a.m. matinee game. But because I got to work today, I'll be off tonight. So I'll go watch the men kick it off against Nicholls State. You never know. Maybe if I get out of court, I can go watch last
Rudy, I want to push back a little on something you said. You said there was nothing here. I'm going to argue a little bit that there was nothing here. That was a team that went 4-8. And I understand they turned 60 guys over on the roster. But would you say the guys who are the biggest contributors on this team are Devin Dampier and Luke Wysong and Christian Ellis and Dimitri Johnson and Nick Trujillo? And I mean, am I missing? Those are guys that were here.
Yeah, there were some pieces, but look at the offensive line. They all left.
Well, absolutely reconstituted offensive line, 100%. Yes.
And we really had nothing on defense for a couple of years, because we don't have any beef. Look, I was watching the Colts last night. I don't know what that guy's name is, but they were talking about him. When he wants to get to the quarterback, he does.
44. Yeah.
You got to go out and find some guys, and you actually look on the roster and the freshmen that they have that they've redshirted. They've got some size.
Look, I'm not arguing with you that they brought in a lot of guys. Just to say there was nothing there, I'm going to push back, because the guys that have been the most effective, especially offensive, Dampier, Wysong, Trujillo, those guys were here.
I was referring to the defense, but yeah, I wasn't clear on what I was saying. We had some offensive talent, but when you looked at the defense and when you looked at the defense last year, it's been consistent. And as a defensive guy, I know that this really gets to Bronco. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes, no matter how good you can scheme, you just don't have enough personnel to cover up your deficiencies, and it's obvious what people pick on. And if you can't stop the pass and you can't stop the run, then what you're doing is you're throwing stuff out there and hoping you can just scheme enough to keep the offense off balance. And by the way, that quarterback, he was from a school called South Lake. Anybody who knows anything about high school football knows that's the premier program in Texas. And they've turned out how many quarterbacks? And all you do is show them tape of Josh Allen at Wyoming and say, "That's you." So they've got the advantage there. That guy was a good performance for a freshman.
Well, then start pulling out the tape of Brian Urlacher and saying that's you. No, honestly, I mean, if it's that easy, you start pulling out Brian Urlacher tape and say that's you, right?
Yeah. Let's go find a guy. If we had a Brian Urlacher on this defense, it would be a lot, different. A guy that could roam sideline to sideline and
return
was free
punts
to make tackles
and play wide receiver and all that. All right, man. Enjoy the day. Appreciate you.
Yeah, talk to you soon. Bye.
Yeah, look, Christian Ellis was there. Dimitri Johnson was there. There were a few pieces in place. Was the cupboard bare? No. Was there a lot to rebuild? Yes. Did they have a 60-player turnover on the roster? Yes. All that's right. And so you're basically starting from scratch, but not really starting from scratch. Does that make sense? I mean, he came in and, with all due respect, now I don't know if you're keeping Devin Dampier, and we'll have that conversation here in 4 weeks. But with all due respect, that guy was here. I mean, give the previous staff a little bit of credit. Now, has he made Luke Wysong a even better player? Yeah, he didn't play this last week. Luke's hurt.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit in place. Now, there was nothing up front. I'll give you that. There was nothing up front, and they redid that. And so I give them a lot of credit for what they've done offensively with that line and some of the weapons.
I mean, yeah, and you really have to look at the past, too, and you can't want all of the change to happen in one season. I mean, a few years ago,
you can want all you want. You can't
exactly. And if you look at the 2 years ago, I think last year was an improvement from 2 years ago, and I think this year is another steady improvement from last year. I know that the season's not over, but I think they're going to end up with more wins than they had last year. So I think all you can do as a Lobo fan is look forward to next year and think, the past 2 seasons there's been a steady climb, at least in my opinion. So I think there's some hope for the future. You just want to focus on that defense, and I think it is fair that, especially in college, when you get a new coach, you want to give him at least a couple years, maybe a few years, to get some of his guys in and allow his program to run its course and see how it turns out.
Isaiah's in for JJ today. That's the voice you're hearing. JJ will be on the radio at 10:30. He's got Lobo women's basketball today out at the Pit. Lobos and Northern Arizona open up the college basketball season. Today is opening day across the country for college basketball, so you're going to get games all over the country. Text line's open for you at 505-246-0610. That's the same number as the phone line here at the Sports Animal. It says Jerry Jones will undermine any coach that he hires, and that is the problem with the franchise. The coach, you can't have the authority because everyone knows that the authority is Jerry Jones, and with Jones in his weekly radio show, no coach will ever have authority to the players in Dallas. Dallas is going to be bad for at least a decade.
Bad?
Well, what makes you think they're going to turn around next year? All right, Ned thinks they're going to turn around back end of the season.
Yeah.
I don't, because I just don't see the roster composition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how they're getting better on defense. I don't think they're nearly as good on defense. Yeah, they're hurt, and I don't know how much is coming back. They got some playmakers. I don't see it up front. Like and by the way, Washington and the Eagles in their division are better than them.
Yes, I think now we can officially say Washington.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. I was a little reluctant. And it's a matter of Washington continuing to play well. I mean, even the loss versus Baltimore, they played well, and then Dallas is getting worse and worse. I can't say anything for sure will change, but what I do know is that if you take a team with bad discipline, I mean, bad discipline really goes a long way in football, especially when it comes to run defense. You know, that's getting off the ball and keeping your pad levels low. That's your footwork, and that's getting out of your gaps. And Dallas does things like that. I
got to ask you, so you played college football.
Mm-hmm.
And if your quarterback, like you're out there busting your ass, right? And you get beat 27-21. You've lost 4 in a row. And you guys, we're going to turn this around. We're going to turn around. And then there's a clip you see of your quarterback on the sideline telling the third string guy, we bleeping suck. How you going to war with that guy?
It honestly, I don't think it bugs him as much as I think it'll bug the fans.
So it wouldn't bother you. You're in there. You're like, yeah, dog. We bleeping suck.
Yeah, no. It's one of those things. You got to come with that mentality, because if you don't think you guys suck, that means you're basically accepting what's happening, and you're going to keep allowing things to continue.
All right. We'll take your phone calls. Keep them coming. Bronco Mendenhall's due to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll talk global football with the head coach. 505-246-0610. When we come back, big wins for some other teams yesterday, including the Lions and the Rams and the Cardinals and the Eagles. We'll get all that as we go through the day. Hey, you want to keep your car looking and feeling new? There's a pretty good chance you're going to have it for a while. Now is the time to call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Have them come out before this winter weather hits in earnest and have your vehicle professionally detailed. Get a fresh coat of wax. When they're done, your car will look, it will feel, it will smell like it's brand new. Remember the day you took it off the lot? How fun it was to be in your vehicle? You can have that new car feel, that new car smell without getting a new car. There's a reason On the Spot Automotive Detailing was awarded best in the city. You know what that reason is? Because they're best in the city. And as a thank you to our veterans, On the Spot's offering a 10% discount for the wonderful men and women who serve our country, both past and present. I love when On the Spot comes to me. And again, they come to you. You don't take your vehicle to them. I'm busy just like you are. I'm in my office. They're out in the parking lot. They're detailing my vehicle. I get a text. I go out. Everybody's standing around my car going, damn, dude, how do I get that? Well, you do this. You go to otsdetailing.com. It's all right there. otsdetailing.com, and it is a great gift as we hit gift giving season. On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Do it today at otsdetailing.com.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
They've lost 7 in a row, so the Saints will have a new head coach going forward. The Raiders did not fire their head coach, but they did fire offensive coordinator Luke Getsy. They are not very good. They also fired their offensive line coach, James Craig, their quarterbacks coach, Rich Scangarello. Sorry. Scangarello. So it's kind of a mini Black Monday in the National Football League. Opening drive, Isaiah's in for JJ. The number to get in is 505-246-0610. What do you got?
We got Frank on line 1 and Earl on line 2.
All right, Frank, what's good? You're on the Sports Animal. How you living?
Good, thank you. I just wanted to make a few comments about the Lobos and Bronco. First of all, Bronco's done a great job.
Yes.
He's a great coach, done a wonderful job. We've been in every single game, and we've already won more than anybody ever anticipated that we win.
Yep.
So, coach, done a fantastic job. Couple of criticisms, okay? One, when you're up 17 points in the fourth quarter, or you're up 10 points with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and you've got the ball, and you rushed against a team for more than 400 yards, why is the first play a pass? Why aren't you doing some clock management? Why don't you just run the ball? You've already gotten 400-plus yards against this team. Just run the ball. Run the clock. I assume you run out the clock, and the clock's your friend. That, and then if our defense were any better at all, I mean, even just slightly better, we had the chance of winning at least 2 games and maybe even 3.
Correct.
I don't understand why the defensive backs play 10 or 12 yards off of their receivers. It's not working. They're terrible. They're third worst defense in the entire country, world.
Giving up the 4th most yards in the country per game and 3rd most points.
Why not try something different and press them? Why not just come up and play a little bit tighter? Okay, what you're doing right now isn't working. Our defense is terrible. Okay, and maybe that's manpower. That's possible. Maybe it's athletic ability. That's possible. I doubt that because I've seen the athletes play. They're close when these wonderful plays are being made. Okay, but I just don't understand from a scheme standpoint why you're so far off. You're giving everything underneath. You can't stop them deep. Let's try something different. Also, why not try blitzing every once in a while? What's this 3-man front? A 3-man front? Let's put some pressure on the quarterback. It can't get worse. Blitz every single play. Send 5, 6, 7 guys every single play. Let's see what you can do.
Or at least now and then. All right, Frank. No, I appreciate the call. Thank you for that. And he did preface it by saying Broncos doing a great job.
Yes.
He did. And they're getting better. And look, the criticisms about the defense are fair. I mean, you're watching it.
Mm-hmm.
You got eyes, man. They're giving up 49, 50, 40, well, I guess not 50, 49, 45, a lot of points.
Yeah, he dressed that call up nice. I liked it.
He did. The preface was very kind. Yeah. Earl, thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. What's good, Earl?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. This whole word bamboozled is actually a great word. And I'd like to just share a quick story. It's probably 3 or 4 years ago. I was drinking a few beers with my friend. And I asked him the question. I was like, hey, man, you got a kid in high school about to graduate, 2 kids in college. Why exactly do you have a 4th kid that's 2 years old now? And he's like, oh, Earl, that girl bamboozled me. And I had to go and actually look up the word and study it. And I'm like, oh, my God, that's a great word. And I remember even telling my kids, hey, the word bamboozled. So anyways, here's my real point is, the Cowboys had a great coach one time. They referred to him as the Big Tuna or something like that after
Bill Parcells,
after the main coach. Yeah, and he got fired.
Yeah.
And, and really ever since that
You've
coach
been
and
bamboozled.
Tony Romo, the Cowboys fans have been bamboozled because the only thing they've got is hype. And that's all I got to say. Thanks for taking my call.
Look what you done did. By the way, when we do the Sports Animal Audible today,
Yeah.
I mean, your guys have to throw it back to us today. Are you doing the afternoon show?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'll
that
be
probably
here.
should be the word. I mean, I'm not going to tell them. It's up to them. But it kind of feels like,
Yeah, it's a good word.
look what you done did. You feel bamboozled. So Cowboy fans are like the dude who's got 2 kids in college, a senior in high school, and a 2-year-old.
Well, I could say this. I think I just missed that category. I think for those who were here to see them win in the 90s, that fits them perfectly. For me, I think I have the sour where I don't even have the joy of having the older kids. Yeah, I don't have anything to go off of. My version of the Cowboys winning anything was 2014, 2016, just being a solid team that's all I can go by.
Oh, man.
Tony Romo, that stung me in the rib. I'm still...
Look, man, Tony Romo was a good NFL quarterback. He wasn't a Hall of Famer. He wasn't a great NFL quarterback. He was a good NFL quarterback. And I'm going to tell you, Dak's the same dude.
I think Tony is... I think now we can say without a doubt, Tony...
Was better?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you see Dak go against teams like the 49ers, and when we go against a good defense, we know it's going to be a struggle. Yeah. Tony would go out there and at least score against
Except
the
for
top.
Dak's making $55 million a year.
Yeah.
I mean...
How about it?
How about it? Well, do you ever think about like the signing bonus, right? You sign your name on that, and your bank account's going to get loaded with like a $33 million signing bonus or whatever it is.
Yeah. I always just wonder, how is he feeling? And then he had that feeling on the first game of the season.
Then your ass doesn't have to get up this early and hang out with me.
I'd still do it.
You would?
Oh, I would.
All right, then.
I would. It's a passion for sure. Talking Cowboys, I'm very, very transparent, I feel, because, it's not easy being a outgoing Cowboys fan. You learn how to take the criticism, and you learn how to stand your ground against big crowds. So if you're listening, you want to call the 505-246-0610. I can handle it. Throw it all over here.
All right, this is one thing we used to do a lot, because back in the day, and JJ kind of got over it a little bit, but I got the email from who is this? It's from Deutsch. It says Ram It. Every time the Rams won, we would. You ever see the old school Ram It? Yeah, the old video.
Nuh-uh. Ram It.
Never seen this video with like Eric Dickerson and those dudes back from the 80s?
No.
Oh, dude. Okay, so the song itself is cheesy enough, but you've got to watch the video.
Provy's got it for us on TV.
So when Eric Dickerson was here for New Mexico, there he is right there. Look at him right there. So he was in for New Mexico Bowl 2 years ago, and Eric was great. Like we had dinner, and Eric was great. When I asked him about Ram It, I'm like, all right, dude. He's like, man, I told them that was a bad idea. And he told me the whole story about it. Because they're at the old Anaheim Stadium. He told me it was like a Thursday or Tuesday. It was on our day off. We all had to go down there. It lasted forever. It lasted all day. And he says, I told them that bleep is going to last forever. You've never seen this video?
No, I just saw it for the first time. ProView put it on the screen there. Thanks for that.
We do that when Rams win. We do a little Ram It.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610. Going to hit your emails and your texts, and you can keep them coming. 505-246-0610. Watch that during the break. Here, I'll bring it up for you.
Okay.
It's good. Hey, if you've been the victim of a home break-in or a business break-in, you know it takes way too long for police to respond. Hours, maybe days. Look, it's not that they're doing a bad job. They just don't have the manpower for all the calls that they get. That's where IPS comes in. I've trusted International Protective Service for years. They watch my home. When I go away, they come by. I see them on security cameras a couple times a day. Exterior checks, making sure everything's okay. If your alarm goes off, they respond within 5 to 7 minutes with trained, armed security officers. Often they catch the criminals in the act. They detain them. The cops come and get them. IPS provides standing guards. If you need eyes on your property around the clock, they install cameras, alarm systems, state-of-the-art facility monitors those cameras 24/7. All this raises the level of security around your home or business. That's why you see IPS in your neighborhood, at your stores. They make a difference. It is affordable private security. Don't wait to be a victim. Call IPS. Talk to them about protecting what you've worked so hard to build, your property, your business, your family. 505-897-2420 is the number. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom. Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King. And now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
All right, Saquon Barkley jumped over a grown man backwards yesterday.
Insane.
Like jumped over, hurdled him backwards. Spun away from one dude, jumped backwards over a dude.
That might be one of the more incredible things I've seen since Barry Sanders.
It was, look, okay, the one-hand catch thing, by the way, I'm always impressed when I see it. I saw it was number one on Saturday on ESPN's top plays. I was at the game, the Duke game, where the dude made that play in the middle of the field. I watched it live, and I'm like, whoa! And I was with all these Miami people, and even they had, like, respect. Dude, that was insane. But that's becoming almost commonplace.
Yeah.
Which, maybe it's the gloves or the athleticism. What dude did yesterday, jumped over a grown-ass man backwards.
Yeah, and it wasn't accidental. It
No,
was calculated.
Well, kind of accidental. He got spun, and when he had it, like, he didn't plan it, but he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, his instincts. It's like he had practiced it before. It's something that seems so natural and fluent about it. And guys are trying to do the hurdles. We got the replay on the screen. It was more of a Saquon.
Tight ends
reel.
are doing it like crazy now.
Yeah, tight ends are doing it. And, you know, it's dangerous, but also in a lot of cases, it's safer. And the reason why Saquon is so good at it is because what's he's known for? Saquads. That's what everyone calls him, Saquads. His legs are so strong.
Yeah.
So people are trying to take his legs out. And he's like, at some point, you have to save yourself. It's not worth, you know, the hit to your legs. So might as well just jump over him.
All right, you got a lot of emails coming in, Jeff, at sportsanalabq.com. James isn't happy. Get used to our show, dude. Nobody's ever happy with anything, especially game times, because they don't fit into people's lives.
Uh-huh.
So, like, it's too hot or too cold or too late or too early or too Saturday or whatever. Lobo women played today. That's why Isaiah is in for JD. By the way, Isaiah and DC have a show that you should know about on Sunday morning leading into your football Sunday. Go ahead and talk about it, because I've caught it a number of times. You guys, I called in one time.
Oh, yeah, we appreciate it.
You guys do a great job with it right here on the Sports Animal.
Yeah, thank you. So, you know, coming in, I was telling BV, you know, and some of the other higher-ups are like, hey, I want to really do an NFL pregame show. I think I can knock it out the park.
I'm going to call them higher-ups now. Hey, higher-up.
So, yeah, and then he says, you know, there's actually another guy, DC, that's looking to do the same thing. So me and DC, we start talking about it, and right away we were on the same page. And I don't know if that's because his birthday's a day before mine, but, you know, we were just, we locked in about it at the same time. And, yeah, tailgate talk, 8 to 10 a.m., right before the NFL games start. We just go through the NFL games, and starting off the show, we like to do a little bit local stuff. So we talk about the high school scores. DC goes through the college scores. And then after that, yeah, we just dive right into the NFL talk and, you know, what we expect to see. And now the NBA started, we've made a little bit of time for the NBA as well. So we also go over some NBA stuff. And, yeah, it's been super fun. DC's great.
What time you guys start on Sunday morning?
8 a.m.
Yeah, catch them Sunday morning. You get local sports talk Sunday right up until kickoff?
Yes, an hour before kickoff.
Until 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So they do a great job of that. All right. James wants to know why are the Phillies, he calls them, the ladies, playing 11 a.m. Monday, Jeff? I can't watch that. I have big business meetings. This feels like another self-inflicted wound. The new athletic director has to get this thing figured out. They just have to. I bet they play more, James. The Lobos have found out that when they go on the road, they've been playing these day games. They're going to have a bunch of school children out there. And they found that they get some crowds out there for that. And by the way, they both want to play today, and the men are playing tonight because, well, the men get priority on opening day and every day. And there's probably going to be more of them.
Yeah, so it's how the ball rolls.
Ken says, oh, my goodness, how presage was this, Jeff? Opening drive callers deserve a championship parade. Who said this was a classic trap game for Lobo football? That's exactly how it played out. They were already thinking ahead to the Aztecs. Ken, they scored 45 points and put up, 576 yards. And they haven't played defense all year. I don't think they got beaten a trap game. I think they got beaten a track meet. I mean, did that look like a trap game to you? Is that why they got beat? Did you think they weren't ready to play against Wyoming?
I think they were ready to play. I just think that, as fans, our expectations and I think just the inconsistency of what we've seen from the team, it allowed us to, kind of assume what we thought we would see. And I think that Colorado State game last week and them not scoring very many points, it had everyone thinking that we would, hold Wyoming to a respectable, offensive day. And that's just not what happened. Wyoming ended up, running the score up a lot, the way other teams were doing it against the Lobos. And I think that was not planned at all.
Ken also says the most presaged words ever uttered on this award-winning opening drive show, Jeff, was, quote, "The weather in Albuquerque is great, except when you need it to be, like bowl games and balloon fiesta." He said the latest victim is the dividers. That's what he calls the United, which is actually pretty good. Coming off a historically dry and warm few months, if you believe the goofy-looking weather dudes, it was chilly, damp, breezy, and blustery at the sports stadium. Everything you don't want on the pitch. No, it was raining. It was raining, and that supporter section was full. The crowd was nice, and actually, if you were out at United, I'd love to hear from you how the atmosphere was last night. As New Mexico United wins their first ever home playoff game, 2-1 over Phoenix, and they will host Las Vegas in the Western Conference semifinal next week out at Isotopes Park. Dan says, "Do you know the way to Juan Jose State returning, Jeffrey? Have you been keeping up with the latest? Apparently, before the Lobo volleyball game Saturday, an assistant coach was suspended for turning trans person into the NCAA, allegedly for conspiring with opponents to get the Spartans teammates injured. It's getting ugly." Yeah, they did suspend an assistant coach at San Jose State. Have you guys been following? For those of you who don't know, Isaiah, who's in for JJ today, produces the afternoon show, 2 Men On. Have you guys hit on the San Jose State volleyball thing at all?
They haven't. We've dodged that topic. I don't know if it's necessarily a dodge. I haven't heard it'd be a choice, but we just haven't. It just hasn't came up yet.
That's been a huge topic, and they did. It's going to be really interesting as this goes on, and as far as they end up playing in the postseason.
Yeah, it was hit pretty hard over there on KKOB, though.
Yeah, I know that. Bourne says on the pregame show, Nedward Abraham James Jr. said Lobo football was tired and beat up, Jeff. Why are they so tired and beat up? They've already had 2 bye weeks. Other teams just barely getting there first. When did they start practicing? Why? Because they're 8 games into a season, 9 games into a season now?
Yeah.
Teams get tired and beat up when they go through a football season.
Yeah, and that's really hard for a lot of watchers to understand that even though they can have bye weeks, I mean, week 9, even some of the fastest players on the team, they're not going to be able to hit that same speed that we may have seen them hit week 2. But the good thing is that all teams are also, at the same point in the season, so it should balance out the playing field. But yeah, guys are sore at this point. At least, half the team has got something bugging them.
Well, I'd say even more than that.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, why are they so tired and beat up? Because they played a 9 games of a schedule. Should they not be tired and beat up? Well, they had 2 weeks off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had 2 weeks off. Why are they tired? Why are they beat up?
Sometimes having those 2 weeks off, it also, mentally, it's kind of hard to get your body back into that warrior mode where it's time to go out. In practice, you hit and you tackle, but you don't do it the same way as you do in a game. So not that there's rust in the middle of a season, but when you're going against your own teammates and you're holding back a little bit, and then you come back into a real game situation. It's really easy to get caught in games like what we just saw happen versus Wyoming.
Hey, 11,400 attendance at the United last night. Everybody stayed until the end and watched the fireworks in the rain. High energy crowd and a great game. Yeah, no, it looked like a great night out there. United was down 1-0. They get a crazy goal that hit the crossbar, both posts, came out and was ruled that it went over the line. There's no video replay there. If I'm Phoenix, I'm pissed. And then they get a late goal to win it and held off a flurry at the end of it. It was insane.
Sorry, it sucks to be Phoenix today. Oh well.
Yeah. All right, I got to take this break. Bronco Mendenhall coming up at 9 o'clock. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need.
Sports Animal.
Lars is the curse of the New Mexico Bowl, Fresno State edition. Hefe, can we quit calling the Bulldogs a good team? Quit acting like it was a great loss by Lobo football. You said it was a great loss by. What is a great loss? It was a great loss. Like I never said that.
I guess.
Hawaii beat Fresno State. Yeah, Lars likes the curse of the New Mexico Bowl. He claims every team that we get goes on. They're horrible, but he refuses to acknowledge the BYU SMU game. And right now, both of those teams who were in our game 2 years ago, both of them are now projected to be in the playoff. BYU and SMU. Where's Lars? What happened to they'll both fall off now, right, Lars? I mean, come on. Lars, where's that curse? Hello, Mike. Thanks for holding here on the Sports Animal. What's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks so much for taking my call. I just got a couple of comments. First off, about what Frank was calling about earlier, about like UNM and the defense. I mean, it's just a classic case of bad defensive back coaching. And these DBs live in what's called the DB dead zone. So they're back far enough, they're back so far that everybody constantly has an underneath route against them. And the same thing is that they're either going back 10 yards or they're going to play press coverage and get thrown right over the top of their head. The worst, absolute worst defense to watch as a spectator. You're like, oh, my God, can you guys do anything right? Secondly, so it's snowing over here in Bernalillo where I'm at right now. That's pretty cool. I don't think Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs can cover that spread tonight. I think Mahomes is playing pretty poor, and that his whole he just hasn't been playing at his feet. I think that 9 points is extremely egregious. And I also want to say, and I want to depend on this and let you guys chat, I think the Bengals are a complete faker.
Yes.
Their wins
Yes.
are against imposters, and Joe Burrow looks like a champ against chumps. That's it, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
That's good. I'm with him on the Bengals. I don't see it there at all.
Yeah, me either.
I think part of the spread tonight is the fact that who is Baker throwing to, right? With Evans and Godwin out, that who is he throwing to?
Yeah, I mean, you saw him last week. He was able to get some yards off still, but the Chiefs' defense is a different animal, and of course, a different team. So I wouldn't be too comfortable putting my money on Baker to cover here. But if you're a Buccaneers fan, I mean, you at least have seen him do it once. Now, if he can do it against this Kansas City Chiefs team, I mean, that gives the Bucs a lot of stock moving forward in the season. For when they do get healthy, I don't believe Godwin will be back this year.
No, look, the Chiefs, they're not killing people. They beat the Raiders by 7, the Niners by 10, the Saints, who just fired their coach, by 13, the Chargers by 10, the Falcons by 5, the Bengals by 1, and the Ravens by a toe.
When we hear about Mahomes, you hear about a lot of QBs, and they'll say, "Oh, these guys win when they have to." The Chiefs are the pinnacle of that. They just
100%.
They just do enough.
100%. All right, Bronco Mendenhall scheduled to be with us when we get back. We'll talk with the local football coach. Look forward to San Diego State. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, refractive lens exchange. the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find.
For 5 years running, it's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
That's a wild ride. Level football certainly is. 45 points scored on Saturday against Wyoming. 49 given up as the Lobos lose to Wyoming by a score of 49-45. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and Isaiah. Conversation with Bronco Mendenhall is sponsored by the law offices of Rudy Chavez. For 4 decades, Rudy's been helping New Mexicans through legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today. A wild, crazy back-and-forth game. Lobos had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. Get outscored 14-0 in the fourth quarter. It was some key turnovers that were the difference. Lobo head football coach Bronco Mendenhall joins us this morning. Good morning, Bronco. How you doing?
Hey, good morning.
So offensively, what an explosion, right? I mean, you look at the yardage and it was bonkers. What did you think at halftime? Had you ever been in something that was that crazy back and forth, 35-35 at halftime like that?
Not that I remember. And just both sides, man, really doing a nice job right from the beginning. I think we ended the day with over 400 yards rushing, which I've never been part of that before, and against a defensive unit that I thought was very solid and prideful and had been playing well. And so offensively, we did just such a nice job with giant plays, but so did they. They controlled really the line of scrimmage in the first half, 3 giant pass plays, and then we have a kickoff that shortens the field and a punt that we kick out of bounds at about the 35. So a few big plays and some short fields kind of help the other way, and it ends up 35-35 at halftime, which is the equivalent of a new game. And then they're able to score 7 on our defense in the second half, and we're able to score, I think, 10. Mm-hmm. And then they get an interception for a touchdown and a couple plays, and gosh, if you would have told me with 8 minutes to go and we have a 10-point lead with the ball, that we would end up losing the game, I was expecting, gosh, we're going to pull ahead by 3 scores now, and what a battle this has been, and it ends up flipping the other way, which we still have the ball with 4 minutes to go, and I'm feeling really good about our chances to win. But quite frankly, it's where the program is, a play or two, a mistake or two, but also every single game we play, we have a chance to win, which is, I know it, our players know it, and our fans know it, which is, there's reason for optimism with a lot to improve in.
You talk a lot about a few plays in games. It's certainly in the fourth quarter in this one. It was the turnovers in this game, and I thought Devin's been outstanding, but he made a couple mistakes. It's certainly the interception. And when you looked at tape, the 2 turnovers, what did you see, especially on the strip sack?
Yeah, first I think we have to acknowledge we're not in the situation in the game without him. I mean, he just was magical the entire game, and he's working so hard to lead our team, and quite frankly, the percentage of snaps and the load is shifting more and more to him as the season goes, not less and less. And so with that, gosh, comes the chance for impact, but also, critical plays and critical decisions. And so, it was just a pretty simple play, but we were late delivering the ball, and the coverage is a little bit too tight. So, however, he's doing his best he can to lead our team, and he's aggressive, and we want him to be. And so we were just a little late and a little slow in the delivery, and the safety jumped it and ended up making a great play, which certainly impacted the game. But that's, again, the game that Devin was responsible for helping us get to that point with a 2-score lead with 8 minutes. And then we're rarely sacked, as everyone knows, and that's through 9 games. And at the end of the game, there's an edge rusher that comes around the edge. Devin's blind spot, doesn't see him coming, and the guy does a really nice job from Devin's backside. Never saw him coming, beats the protection, and strips the ball. And yeah, that was the second turnover. And gosh, quite frankly, those type of plays, we make them versus Utah State. Wyoming made it against us, and that's about where this league is. One or two plays somehow late in the game ends up determining outcome, no matter how you get to the circumstances of the end of the game. That's where it is.
And you look around the league, and it's that way. He's Bronco Mendenhall, Lobo football coach, is with us on the Sports Animal. Bronco, you've talked about the defense improving, from the back end of the Utah State game and giving up, not a lot of points against Colorado State. I think it was 10 points that your defense gave up because it's 17 one touchdown with special teams, and then what happens last week? And you've had a chance to evaluate. You gave up 604 yards. I mean, talk about whether it was improvement, whether it was regression, whatever it is that you saw defensively.
Oh, just Wyoming did a really nice job at the line of scrimmage. They won the physical battle for sure. Kept us, they were in second and third manageable the whole time, but then the giant pass plays, that to me was more than anything. And so their ability to throw and catch, whether we had pressure or not pressure, and then throw the ball for significant chunks downfield when they needed to. There's a couple out and ups, a play where we jump off sides early that's completed, and then, their touchdown, which I didn't think the receiver maintained possession through the ground, but on the second 27, their only score in the second half. So really a complete tale of two different halves. And so our execution, our precision, and our playmaking in the first half, not anywhere close to where it needed to be, nor the progress we've been making didn't reflect. Second half, completely different, where they were able to score 7 points.
Did you do something different in the second half, or did they, or did you just execute better? What was the difference?
It was just simply a focus on mentality, mindset, and there's two parts to this. It's not only what you do, it's how you do it.
Sure.
And how we were doing it didn't reflect the confidence, aggression, mindset, and certainty that we wanted. And so Coach Howell, defensive staff, did a really nice job at halftime addressing that. Players responded, and what a remarkable difference from 35 points and a half to 7. Same team. And that's more of the improvement that we had expected. We just thought we'd see it from the beginning of the game on, and unfortunately we didn't. But our offense, luckily, matched it and gave us a chance to have basically a 0-0 game at halftime. And so the second half was more reflective defensively, what we were hoping for. But I presented to the team at the beginning of the week this would be a final possession game. And that's what it ended up being.
Yeah. Big picture, where you are now, sitting at 3-6 with the 3 in front of you. You play San Diego State Friday, home for Washington State, and then go to Hawaii. What's the message to the team? I mean, you still have goals in front of you. Certainly now the margin for error is completely gone. Yeah,
if you frame it big picture-wise, which I pause each week to do to our team, postseason eligibility is 6 wins, so you need 3 more. That means you need to win each one. Now, once we've acknowledged that, every one of these games is winnable. Every one most likely will be a last possession game, and we'll take everything we got. But that's what the season has been. So this is exactly where we are. Encouraging, I think, for our team, our staff, and hopefully for all Lobo fans that there's a legitimate chance we win any game we play. But the margins are thin. It's going to be an exciting game. Currently, at this point, most likely it's going to be higher scoring. And we think we'll be there toe-to-toe at the end with anybody. And so that's exactly the message. No margin for error to get to 6. But now let's forget about that and not play tight and hesitant. And it's going to take everything we got one game at a time, as cliche as that sounds. That's all we can focus on, and it'll take everything.
Yeah, Coach, this is Isaiah Johnson here, filling in for JJ. Nice to talk to you for the first time. And, I heard you say earlier, I've played a little bit of football before in my life, and I heard you say it was more about how you guys were doing something rather than what you're doing. So for the defense moving forward, I know, little things like getting out of your gap and, wasted space, little things like that can make a game look way more lopsided than what it is. So moving forward for your defense, do you think the biggest improvement will come from little things like footwork and like point of attack, or do you think it's more so maybe like a scheme thing to improve, like that you guys can maybe do with the calls, or is it just more just footwork and things like that?
No, it's a fair question. I really don't think it's either. I think it is just simply the mindset and the confidence and the certainty to then do the things you're mentioning. So certainly the scheme has to be right. So that's number one, what we ask them to do. How they do it, which is what you're focusing on, the technical part, that also, right, we call that position mastery. So the position mastery, we're working on that like crazy. But I would say when I'm talking more about how you do it, that's with what mentality.
Okay.
And so that, to me, the confidence, aggression, and certainty of doing it, that's the other part. And I'd seen significant steps in that. And gosh, the difference, there wasn't one schematic change from 35 in the first half to 7 in the second half. Mm-hmm. It was just mindset. And that in and of itself is something that we're working on. Well, we're working on all those parts you and I just talked about. But that in and of itself is kind of when programs start to truly transform, and that leads to confidence, right? And so playing with confidence, as you can see, I would say Devin plays with great confidence. I would say Luke Weissong plays with great confidence. I think you saw Eli Sanders run the ball with great confidence in that game. And I would say there were times where Noah Avenger at safety, you could see that, as well as Christian Ellis. There's a few instances. And so, but that actually comes with success, right? But what I do know right now is there's no one in the building that, regardless of what bus pulls up, that we don't truly believe we're going to be there at the end with a chance to win it.
So mindset leads to execution, leads to confidence, leads to success.
Yeah, and that's just how you transform individuals as well as teams, and that's granted, and knowing that they have to be in sound schemes and being taught the right fundamentals, right? So you have to check those off first and then go to just what you said, and I think that's right.
He's Bronco Mendenhall, Lobo football coach. All right, San Diego State on Friday, you're going to go there. They'll be on a full week. You're on a short week. They played Wyoming a few weeks ago. Very similar game. Lower score, but a 3-point game. 27-24, not 49-45, but they went up in Laramie and won. Coming off of 2 losses to 2 really good teams, what do you see as San Diego State?
Gosh, they're just like you said. They're really good. I'm talking to some of the Wyoming coaches before. They feel like their season is so similar, other than there's been 3 or 4 one-score games they didn't win. And so San Diego State plays Wyoming 27-24. We just play Wyoming rather than a 3-point difference. It's a 4-point difference. Wyoming had just played Utah State. It goes right to the end, and there's a field goal. The entire league. Maybe outside of currently, I would say UNLV and Boise, and they might be, a full volume notch above, maybe a half notch, and the rest of the teams, it's gonna be one score at the end. I don't know what the score will be, but there's a great chance someone is turning the ball over, getting a first down, running out the clock, or kicking a field goal to win. And rarely is it going to be by more than one score.
Yeah, in fact, Hawaii beats Fresno State by a point. That San Diego State team that you're going to see beat Hawaii by 3. I mean, that's what your league is. Do you like these Friday games? What's the big difference for you and your club, especially because you have to travel on the short week?
Yeah, it's a challenge. I like it in this case because so immediately after the game was over, I'm in my office and watching watching our game against Wyoming and then San Diego State film even Saturday night. And so it facilitates moving forward, which is cathartic and healthy for a program. But quite frankly, today is Monday, right? But
it's Tuesday.
In application, it's Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And so we're on a Tuesday practice format, which is the heaviest practice day of the week, coming off of a game we just played Saturday where you're not ready to have the heaviest practice day. And so you have to, manage that and modify as appropriate, but it can't be an off day and it can't be a walkthrough. It has to be a significant day, and you're not quite ready for it to be a significant day.
Appreciate the conversation. Always do. I know it's a short week. A big one this weekend. Safe travels to San Diego.
They're all big, aren't they? Holy smokes.
You only get 12 of them.
But here's the thing. They could also not all be big right now. Yeah. And so that's I think it's a good thing.
That's a great opportunity, right? And that's what you
Totally.
want. You want an opportunity to do something, and you got a team that's exciting and putting up a lot of points, and you're growing something, and you've talked about the process. So, like always appreciate the conversation. Safe travels to San Diego. We'll talk to you next week, Bronco.
All right, see you. Bye.
Thank you. Bronco Mendenhall, Global Football Coach. Conversation was brought to you by the law offices of Rudy Chavez, personal care and the attention you deserve for your legal issues. Call Rudy at 505-242-5500 today. I love the conversations because he's so cerebral, but he's pretty candid as well.
He's very transparent.
No, I appreciate the candor, except for injury stuff. Mm-hmm. And you kind of asked him something that I wanted to ask, that I was going to ask.
Yeah, I could feel
was it a scheme thing, or does he feel it's a scheme thing or a personnel thing?
Yeah, and it sounds like he thinks it's just a mentality thing.
He said mindset.
Yeah, and to get even more in detail, and he went a level deeper than what I asked, which is obviously great. So, like when he says how you do something or mentality, that basically means like, hey, especially for line of scrimmage and when it comes to physicality, it's like if you know this is your gap on this play, and if this guy tries to push you this way, you have to not let him, then you need to actually go through that play. And when the ball's hiked, you need to believe that's your gap. You need to know it's your gap, and that helps you hold your gap. But if you are questioning things and you're uncertain, and if you're second guessing, it may not seem like it in live action, but when you go back and watch it on film, you'll see that, you were second guessing after the ball was snapped, or, little things like that can really hurt you if you're not confident and going through your assignment with 100% effort.
All right. You can respond to what you heard, 505-246-0610. It's open for you. The email's coming in, jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. It's the opening drive. Isaiah's in for JJ. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Getting ready to step into...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Welcome to Respond to what Bronco Mendenhall had to say. If you missed it, want to catch it again, want to share it, Zay, you're able to put that up, right? Wherever we get podcasts, it'll go up on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Mm-hmm. You just click on the opening drive, and it's all right there for you. 505-246-0610. This one says, it is refreshing to know we have we have an abundance of qualified collegiate defensive coordinators / defensive back coaches here in Albuquerque. I'm guessing if Bronco decides to make a change, he's really going to have a hard time combing through the talent pool here. Who knew? Not even sure what that means. Look, it's you asked the question in a way. We've talked about the defensive struggles. And is it scheme? Is it personnel? And to ask a head coach with 3 games left who you want to throw under the bus. I mean, honestly, right? If I ask him, because I'm thinking, if I ask Bronco Mendenhall, hey, are the defensive struggles, and the stats are what the stats are, right? You're giving up the 3rd most points in the country and the 4th most yards in the country per game. Mm-hmm. If the question is, hey, are the struggles, is it personnel or is it scheme? Basically, who you want to throw under the bus? You want to throw your staff or your play? No, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, really.
How is he supposed to answer that question?
Yeah, and I didn't realize that. I mean, I guess I'm new to the asking the head coach of the Lobo
question.
questions.
I thought you asked it a good way.
Yeah, and I figured I was trying to do so because as I was getting the question out, I realized like even just saying the word scheme, like you're immediately putting a lot of coaches on notice and you're almost putting them on the hot seat. But I was truly just wondering because, like I said before, coaches can make awesome calls, but I
players
think
make plays.
Exactly,
Yes,
and I think that's
say that all the time.
I think that's what he was saying in a very, very, of course, professional way. And then he's saying that the scheme's good. They just have to believe and do it with more aggression.
Mindset leads to execution, which leads to confidence, which leads to success.
That's a direct way of saying don't hesitate, be physical. Like
okay. I believe in what you're doing.
Yes.
But you got to buy in. And look, again, I thought there was some progression. Now, he didn't say regression. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. You saw what you saw. From the end of the Utah State game where they made the stop and the interception to holding Colorado State to 17 points, you can tell me all you want that Colorado State shot themselves in the foot, and you might be right. But they held them to 17 points, and then what we saw last week. Right, but how about from first half to second half? To his point, right? You held them to what did they score in the second half again? It was
7, right?
Yeah, it was 7 points in the second half because they scored in a pick 6. Right, so you give up 35 points defensively in the first half and 7 in the second half. What happened? He said same scheme. We didn't change anything. What happened? Same dude, same scheme.
I think that answers the question we
That
asked.
players make plays.
Yes, and also earlier in the show, we talked about, was this a trap game? Did they look at this as a trap game? And, I mean, if he's saying the scheme stayed the same, in the first half, these guys came out and scored 35 points.
Interesting.
And then the
Like,
second
who's
half...
New Mexico to have a trap game, dude? You were 3-5 going into it. Like, who the hell are you to have it? Honestly.
Well, I feel like as a Lobo fan, you realize that some of those wins came against teams who you figured you had a very, very small
Like
chance.
this team.
Yeah.
Like the team you just played who came in 1-7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right, what do we got at 1? You don't remember, do you?
At 1?
Who's on line 1?
We have Jeffrey wants to talk about the Cowboys.
This is Isaiah in my system. See, JJ whispers in my ear. Isaiah just tells me on the air. You're
Yes.
like, what? Who do we have? What? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Jeffrey, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's up, man?
Good morning, Jeffrey, and Isaiah. So, I know you as a friend. I've known you a long time, Jeff, and I've been an unapologetic Cowboy fan all my life. In fact, I remember. I'm old enough to actually remember the Hail Mary game, 1975. That's how long I've been, quote unquote, loyal to the Cowboys. And in terms of prioritization, my favorite teams have always been the Cowboys, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and UNM Lobo men's basketball.
Nice.
But after the accumulation of year after year of a lack of discipline for the Cowboys,
ooh, I like it.
And woeful performances in the playoffs, I had like a sports epiphany, probably concomitant with the Dodgers winning the World Series and the just woeful play of the Cowboys this year. I suddenly realized that under the ownership and authority and or I guess you could call culture engendered by Jerry Jones, it became obvious to me that his primary interest, and I don't know what his motivations are, but
Cha-ching.
I think his interest is fame, but I would call it celebrity. I think he's more interested in the Cowboy brand being equated with pop culture and celebrity than winning. That's not to say he's not interested in winning, but I think he's more interested in the Cowboys being a brand that's about celebrity and pop culture, whereas the Dodgers, to me, are more committed to the discipline of winning. And consequently, after 52 years or so, the Dodgers are now my favorite team. I'm not even that interested in watching Cowboy games anymore. And I think that's pretty emblematic of a lot of folks across Cowboy Nation, because I think we're starting to recognize that under his authority, the culture he's built is about, in my view, the Cowboys being a brand of celebrity and winning comes second. And that's kind of how I see it. And by the way, we hadn't talked about it because you've been gone, Jeff, but how about them Dodgers, man? How about them Dodgers?
How beautiful was that, huh? I mean, just I came on briefly with JJ and Zay on Thursday from the airport, and I said that fifth inning won't go down as the best inning in baseball history, but one of the most infamous, one of the most crazy innings in the history of baseball. The Yankees gave it away, but the Dodgers took advantage. And look, Garrett Cole pitched out of that inning, dude. I mean, it was bases loaded, no out. He struck out, who's at the bottom of the order? It was Edman, and then he strikes out Ohtani, and he gets Mookie to hit a weak grounder to first. He's out of the inning, and he doesn't cover first. And then Freeman with the base hit, and Teo with the double, and the Dodgers came back after that. They were down 6-5 on the 2 sac flies. It was amazing. I people say, oh, they got all the payroll in the world. Yep, and like Zay just said, dude, players make plays. At some point, you still got to execute.
And by the way, think about discipline. The Cowboys' lack of Dodgers' discipline. 100%. Without Kiki Hernandez running the bases, with all that alacrity, he doesn't make second base. That inning is over.
Right.
Yankees win. Who knows what happens? So that's my point. The
When
Dodgers
Judge dropped the fly ball, it would have been forced. Yeah.
And absolutely. And think about this: about 3.5 weeks ago, there was talk all over the country about the manager for the Dodgers being fired when they were down 2-1 against
the Padres.
Against the Padres. So, go Dodgers, and now they're officially my favorite team, and the Cowboys have been relegated to number 2.
See you, man.
I like it. That's what I've done with the Oregon Ducks.
Is it all right that I wore my Dodger hat to play golf in Florida the other day?
Yeah, I think
there was. And you know what was crazy down there? a bunch of them, and they were all Red Sox fans. I hate the freaking Yankees, so they were Dodger fans. They
Yeah.
had brand new Dodger hats.
I've met a lot of people like that like the Red Sox.
They
so
were
they're
all
just-
over it. Yeah, the Yankee fan were just bitter. No, it was amazing. And the word alacrity got used on the show today.
Yeah.
Alacrity. Can you define that?
Alacrity?
Alacrity, as you just said. Kiki Hernandez running the bases with all that alacrity. Precision. High-end alacrity.
Okay, efficiency. Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's
More
a little,
like an intelligence efficiency kind of
okay,
thing.
gotcha.
I believe. It's been a minute. I was going to study for the SAT last night. I got busy. So I didn't. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. Lobo Hoops tonight as well. Lobo Hoops today. I'll bring you up to date on all of that. Aggies play tonight. It's opening day in college basketball. It's 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Kevin Harlan here from Monday Night Football on.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore, just like riding a bicycle.
I can pick up the fight from where I left off.
Lobo basketball this morning. Lobo women's basketball opens the season out at the Pit. Northern Arizona will be the opponent. 10:30 pregame. 11 o'clock tip-off. J.J. Buck will be on the call right here on The Sports Animal. Lobo men go tonight over on News Radio KKOB against Nichols. Robert Portnoy and Hunter Green will have the call over on KKOB. And we are off and running with college basketball. Aggies open up tonight at home in the Pan Am Center against New Mexico Highlands. Isaiah's in for JJ today. If you want the hoops tonight, man, we got Monday Night Football for you here on The Sports Animal. The undefeated and defending champion Chiefs against Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. If you want hoops tonight, I mean, it's not all Canisius versus Arizona and Ryder versus UCLA and Elon versus North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
You get Baylor Gonzaga tonight. 8 versus 6. You get Texas Ohio State tonight if you want it. So that's all available for you. You get some good hoops tonight. If you're in the hoops mode.
Yeah. What about a little? I just saw on my phone we got Edwards versus LaMelo tonight. How do you feel about those guys? You big on the NBA, Jeff?
So I like the NBA. I don't love the NBA until I'm more of a college basketball guy.
Okay,
I
more
like
competitive.
I like college basketball more than I like the NBA. Used to be more of an NBA guy, and I kind of like once I get through bowl season, I'm not gonna lie, I pay more attention. I've always kind of Christmas was always opening day in a lot of respects for basketball, but now the NFL's taken that. But what you like that tonight?
Yeah, I'm big on LaMelo Ball. I know it's a little controversial. I've always thought he was better than Anthony Edwards. So I do. I think he's better when he's healthy. I think he does more.
Yeah, I think Anthony Edwards is a freak. And I think as he matures, I think he's going to become even more consistently good, if that even makes sense.
I just feel like other than jumping and dunking, I don't know what he does better than LaMelo.
Okay. LaMelo's a better ball handler. I'll give you that. Better create. Well, he gets other people involved more. I'll give you that. Carl says, has Bronco Mercenary made a call to Dumpy Cold Durango, Colorado yet about defense for 2025? Is Durango Dumpy? I've always thought Durango's pretty nice. That's where Rocky Long is. All my San Diego State buddies too are like, "Where's Rocky? Can we get him out? What's he doing? Get him out of Durango." I'm going to tell you, I think Rocky's pretty happy at Fort Lewis College in Durango, Colorado.
Yeah.
But I don't know. At some point, it's going to be interesting to see what's if any staff changes come. Josue, good morning. You're on The Sports Animal. What's happening, Hoser?
Good morning. It's been a long time.
Where you been,
It's been a while
dude?
since I've talked to you.
Yeah, Isaiah's sitting in your old seat today.
Who is?
Isaiah.
Oh, I have not had the pleasure. Well, we just met just now, but not in person. But
Hoser's in the Hall of Fame of our former producers. And boy, there's a list of former producers on the 16.
Oh, man, there
in the
was.
16 plus years of the opening drive. So.
Yeah, and I probably still would have been there, but life happens. Because that was my goal. My goal was to just ride off.
No,
into
they had to move you
when
off
you
our
guys
show.
do.
They had to put you on Clark's show, or they'd have moved. Every time we get a good producer, they move them.
I did see that, but I was thinking about actually doing that because that maybe would have made me full time, and I could have stayed on, with you guys in the morning. But just that plan never came to fruition. But
sounds like I took that baton from you in the afternoon this way.
Yeah. But anyways, man, it's good to hear you. It's good to know that you're still around. Lobo basketball season is upon us tonight, so it's going to be.
So you're going to be out there
exciting.
today? Are you still guy who wants a pizza? You still that guy?
No, I'm not that
Gave up
guy.
that
I don't know
gig?
if you noticed. I haven't been doing the football games, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be a basketball
You
game
get
now.
fired?
I'm still on standby, so
Did you get
they
fired?
might call me. I mean, but I'm not going to be there every single game. So
Yeah,
I'm
Zay.
hoping I get to do maybe one or two because that's always a good time. man.
Hoser was that dude. Who wants a pizza? Hey, Lobo fans, here's the toilet bowl race.
That's right.
He was that
Everybody,
dude.
get up on your feet.
He's also a Cowboy fan. He does a pretty good Jerry Jones. Hey, Jerry, what's the problem with your Cowboys?
Jeffrey, I think the problem is that we we just don't. I really don't know. It's just one of those things where you have to dissect a mosquito, and there's just micro things that are just in there that are hard to kind of figure out. If you ever seen a mosquito, you know how small they are, and man, it's just. But we're going to get back on track one of these days. I promise you. Yeah.
You got to circumcise a mosquito.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was maybe the best one I've heard.
All right, dude. It's good to hear you. Glad you're alive.
All right. I'm still here, Hefe.
Later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Awesome.
Well, Mike McCarthy's a good coach. We got to get that going, and it's like trying to circumcise a mosquito.
And you listen to Dak Prescott talk, it's rolling off on Dak a little bit. He gives the
well, I'm not going to sit here on the radio and listen to you idiots tell me how to build a football team. Now I've been doing this, and we got Dak. We gave Dak a good number of monies. And now we got to go out there and execute, and I'm going to give Mike the opportunity to turn this thing around. I still think that we could go to the Super Bowl, and we got a good football team.
Wow, yeah. You've been doing this for a little while, huh?
Oh man, it's so he was going to make some moves today, wasn't he? Like he's going to, yeah. Here's the news this morning. The Saints have fired Dennis Allen. They've lost 7 in a row, so he's out. Darren Rizzi, the special teams coordinator, because their special teams have been so good. He's the interim coach. Darren Rizzi. Gail Benson. Dennis has been a part of our organization for many years. He's highly regarded within the NFL. He has been extremely loyal and professional, and most importantly, an excellent football coach for us. All this makes today very tough for me and our organization. However, there's always a however. This decision is something that I felt we needed to make at this time. I wish nothing but the best in the future for Dennis and his family. He will always be considered in the highest regard by everyone within this organization, including me. So, I mean, that's like the template. We wish them the best, but scram.
Yeah, was he escorted out by security like Robert Saleh was?
How about that mess, dude? What do you think I'm going to take?
And I heard some people tried saying that was normal. I'm like, no, that's not.
It
normal.
might be normal, and well, first of all, I don't think it's as abnormal as we want to believe. Making sure you don't take any company assets or whatever. But really, dude, a guy that like yesterday's the head of your organization, and today you're gonna have security escort him out. Here's a box, and put whatever you can in the box.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I wonder if he's being hostile or if they thought he was going to explode.
No, I think that's just the way. It is.
Just kicks over a plant or something on his way out.
I'm just going to tell you, it's not as uncommon as we would like to believe.
Okay, walk out and knock a vase off a desk or something.
Yeah, like the LeBron commercial.
Yeah,
get out. Respect. Get out. Raiders did not fire their head coach, but they fired their offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, this morning. They also fired James Craig, their offensive line coach. They fired their quarterbacks coach, Rick Scangarello. They're both out. So that's going to make they fired their quarterback coach. You got Aiden Hutchinson, or what? Not Aiden. What's my guy's name?
Gardner Minshew.
No? Well, Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell.
Yes.
And so I'm firing my coach. What'd you tell me earlier? You echoed what I said all the time. Players make plays.
Yeah.
You can fire all the coaches you want, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest indicator for firing a coach is disciplinary things, penalties. I don't know where the Raiders sit at in penalties, but I think that's a direct reason to fire a coach, and that's why I'm sitting here calling for Mike McCarthy's job so much. If he was to get fired within the next 17 minutes of us being on air, I would be crying happy tears.
Well, I mean. We got something big coming today, and I know the trade deadline's coming up on Tuesday, and we're gonna evaluate everything and every part of the organization.
Yeah,
and I got some big moves coming. Wrap it up when we get back. Everything you got to know as you go through your Monday. Isaiah's in for JJ. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta. Thank you for listening to the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough.
The opening drive, Isaiah's in for JJ, Jeff Symbieta. Opening day in college basketball. JJ's out at the pit where the Lobo women will play Northern Arizona. Tip time 11. JJ will crack the mic at 10:30 with the pregame show. You can listen to that right here on The Sports Animal. Tonight on The Sports Animal, we got Monday Night Football because we are your home for the National Football League. Tampa Bay, Kansas City. That game will be in Missouri tonight. Buccaneers are 4-4. The Chiefs are 7-0. I see a 9-point spread on that. That can't be right, is it?
That would be pretty big.
It feels really, really thick to me.
That's a good verbiage.
Yeah, it's 9 points. Bucks aren't winning, or the Chiefs don't win by a lot of points. We'll see what they do tonight against a team that's struggling with the wide receivers. Over on News Radio KKB tonight, Lobo basketball men open up against Nichols. Robert Portnoy, Hunter Green will have the call. 6:30 pregame, 7:00 tip from the tip. Tip from the pit. That's backwards. Tip from the pit. They'll have that for you over on News Radio KKOB. Aggies play tonight. They are home against New Mexico Highlands. They open it up. You get Baylor against Gonzaga tonight. Ohio State, Texas tonight. If you're looking for the college basketball, you get a ton of it tonight. NBA, you get a bunch of stuff tonight as well. You get Lakers are in Detroit. You get that Memphis-Brooklyn game, and you were talking about the Charlotte-Minnesota game with Melo and Anthony Edwards. United were winners last night. First ever home playoff game. New Mexico United. Makwele Akwale gets the game winner. 2-1. They beat Phoenix Rising. So United advanced to the Western Conference semifinals. They will play on Saturday at home against Las Vegas, and that'll be out at Isotopes Park. Great atmosphere last night, and it's a great time for a big historic win for New Mexico United. All right, you guys are in on the text line. Says Zach Arnett needs to come home and build a good defense. That's interesting. Zach Arnett was the defensive coordinator at San Diego State, played for Rocky Long. In fact, there's a picture of him on the wall in our office in the, I think, first New Mexico Bowl, and was the defensive coordinator at San Diego State, was the defensive coordinator at Mississippi State, took over as the head coach at Mississippi State, a guy from La Cueva High. When Mike Leach passed away, that'd be an interesting defensive coordinator. I don't know what Zach's doing right now, and I should. What's worse, Lobo basketball fan or Cowboy fan? How bad can it get? I don't know, define worse.
Yeah, Lobo basketball, I don't know, but it did sound like, when the fans were calling in about the Lobos, it sounds exactly how Cowboy fans are talking about their team right now.
It sounds like every fan in America.
Yeah.
I mean, the fan bases are like, everyone's really, really entitled. Why aren't we great? Why aren't we really good? I was in Ann Arbor about a month ago, and they beat Minnesota that day. And I was listening to some post game, and fans were complaining how bad they were. At that point, they were 4-1, and they weren't winning pretty enough, and they had just won the national championship. And why aren't we any good? And the coach has to go, and we need to fire people. And granted, I mean, they're an average Michigan team, and Oregon just handled them. But hell, they've lost to Oregon, who was number one in the country. They lost to Texas, who at the time was number one in the country. They went across the country, lost to Washington. They lost at Illinois. I mean, it's not a great team, but damn, you're coming off a national championship. I guess once the bar's set, it's hard to crawl under it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and especially in college. I mean, with the rankings and everything, and you see your team plummeting, and it just gets irritating, and then fans get upset.
Gopher's in. I guess he watched United on CBS Sportsnet last night. He says the dividers, WTF, Jeffy. Where's the friendly? That means. The little sideline reporterette said everyone loves the club, so they're getting a new gym. Did the PR staff write that for her? If she had done real research, she'd have mentioned the first attempt was turned down by the voters 65 to 35%, and the latest is being fought tooth and nail by the area neighborhoods. Oh, that's right. But they're still going to get their stadium. They're going to get their own stadium, their own little gym up there, and they're going to get to play. Look, man, it was a good night for them. It was a good night. They won their first ever day. Bad weather, great support, and they move on. I mean, that's really the bottom line.
Yeah, and I think a big thing it seems to be hard to grasp, especially when it comes to sports. And this goes as deep to the conversation when you start talking about how these athletes are paid, and you compare it to teachers and first responders, and it gets tricky because if you are bringing in attention, if you're bringing in the amount of revenue, you have the right to demand a certain amount in return, if that makes sense. Like if you can fill that stadium, I think they should be able to have the stadium.
Does that apply to men's and women's sports? I know there's a big inequity in what men and women are paid, WNBA and NBA,
Yes.
There's men's soccer, women's soccer. But the women's team wins more, and so they're demanding equal pay, even though the men bring in a lot more. Does that apply there?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it does suck, but it's one of those things where if the people are upset about it, the people can also go buy tickets and go fill up the stadium, and then give, the people in that respective sport a little bit more of a backbone to go and make a case for themselves. If the fans, if you're upset about the pay of a sport, but you're not buying the tickets to go to those games, understand that is directly correlated as to how much they get paid.
I think people would say I'm not paying because I disagree. Like there's a lot of people. It's market value, and I think what you got to understand, especially at the pro level, and you might be getting that way college level soon. They live in a different world. Juan Soto is going to get $700 million. Shohei Ohtani gets $700 million coming his way.
Yeah.
Right? You and I don't. We live in a different world, dude. Oh, I work harder. Okay, first of all, his window to make his money is way smaller. But, yeah, they live in a different world. We all make choices at some point. Like I had a buddy when I was in Florida this week say, man, my work's different than yours. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Jerry, real quick, I got about 30 seconds. Go. Jerry.
So here's the analogy. So you got, can you hear me?
Yeah, go.
You got one of the best chicken salad chefs in the whole wide world. He comes to a new home, opens up the refrigerator, and there's hardly any chicken in there. So he starts throwing some raisins, some pecans in, and he stirs that chicken salad up. And the chicken salad just isn't that good. And it's not because the other ingredients, but there's not enough chicken in that chicken salad.
That's a great analogy.
Exactly where we are in Lobo football. Don't worry, folks. We got the right guy. He's going to bring some more chicken in.
Chicken's coming.
It's going to be the best chicken salad in Mountain West.
Thanks, Jerry. Thanks to Bronco Mendenhall for being with us. Jim Rome Show is next. Heard with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is in at 4 o'clock. Monday Night Football after that. Actually, JJ comes on at 10:30 with Lobo Women's Basketball. Zay, thanks for pinch hitting, man. Are you done?
Of course. Thank you for bringing me in anytime you need me.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Great stuff. Adrian on the visuals. JJ's in at 10:30 with Lobo Women's Basketball. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.